Hi and welcome. This is my July review. We start the month with a very challenging aspect. We have Mars making a square to Pluto. Now it's challenging to you because Mars is in your 12th house. So Mars in 12th house works behind the scenes. But you need to be very careful of unconscious desires coming through that will maybe take over you, and you may be doing things that you're not really aware that you're doing, so to speak. The Mars is making a square to Pluto in the 9th house. It's a good time to invest time and energy into ambitious projects that will give you some kind of adventure going forward. It's a good time to plan maybe an expedition or a holiday or something that you've always wanted to do, and you are intensely passionate about. This will be fantastic for that. But you just need to be aware that there is unconscious strong desires and maybe aggression even that could come up from nowhere with Mars being in that 12th house. Now on the 2nd we have Mercury in action. Mercury is making two aspects. The first is to Saturn, so this is a good time for planning. Mercury's in that house of finances, so good time to look at your finances, to plan out where you are and where you're going to be in the future, and do some budgeting. Now the other aspect from Mercury on this day is to Neptune, and Neptune's in that 11th house of friends, so there may be difficulties with the communications or misunderstandings with friends, so it's probably the best day to just keep yourself to yourself and not get too involved with people, because things may get a little bit mixed up along the way. On the 5th, it's a day that's been long awaited, because Mars, who's been travelling through your 12th house in the background of things, bursts through on this day and moves into your sign of Taurus in the 1st house. Immediately there's an aspect with Mercury, and this is another great aspect because Mercury has just burst through into the 3rd house, which is the house that Mercury rules. So this is fantastic. Both these planets are at 0 degrees, and this is the strongest degree of any sign. So this is maximum energy, both physical and mental, because Mars represents the physical side, Mercury the mental side. So this is a time when you can use your initiative, use your energy, and if there's opportunities that come your way, this is a great time to take them. Things that you've been working on over the past month or so will now come together and will be out in the open. No longer will you have to work in the background. Then on the 6th we have an aspect between Venus and Chiron. Now this is a time when you'll be able to help other people. Venus is in that 2nd house of finance. This is very good for finances, but it may be that you can use some of your knowledge and your planning that you've been doing with Mercury in that house to help other people with theirs. There may be some frustrations on the 8th as the Sun, who's in that 3rd house of communications, makes an aspect to Chiron in that 12th house. So there'll be unconscious blockages that may be around today that stop you communicating and expressing yourself in your normal way. But on the 9th there's a better aspect, because the Sun makes an aspect, positive aspect to Uranus. Now Uranus has been going through your house and sign for some time, and you should be getting used to the effects of these changes that keep happening. And it's a good day now to allow yourself to be that new person that's emerging, that's coming through. You'll be very sharp, very alert, with the Sun being in that 3rd house. Mentally you'll be very astute. Also you'll be brimming with confidence because we have an aspect between Mercury and Jupiter. This is a great day to plan as well, and to bring things together and to start putting things into action. On the 10th you just need to be a little bit wary and think before you speak, because we have Mercury conjunct in the Black Monolith in your 3rd house of communication, which is great, but it could be things that come through automatically from your unconscious, from deep within, that you really haven't thought about, so just be wary. Then on the 12th we have the Sun making a fantastic aspect, positive aspect to the Moon's North Node. This is a day when what you learn, what you discover, could affect you in a big way. We also have Venus in an aspect to Saturn, so this is a good day to discuss things, plan things. So this is great. What you learn today, what you discover today, what you talk about today could affect you going forward in a big way. On the 13th we have our full moon. Now this full moon this month is in Capricorn. Now the moon is at its detriment in Capricorn, so it's not functioning as normal. The emotions can be stifled in Capricorn and the ego hardened. But it is very good for ambition, and it's very good for making plans, which is great because the full moon's in your 9th house, the house of Sagittarius and Jupiter. So this is a time when you need to invest some time into planning some new adventures, learning some new things, taking a few risks maybe, and getting out of your comfort zone. There's a couple of aspects which one may hinder you, one may help. One is an aspect between Mercury and Chiron, which may bring up insecurities and may hold you back a little bit unless you overcome these. And then the other aspect is a fantasy aspect between Venus and Neptune. So this will inspire your creative side and imagination. Just don't let it run too wild. Chain events will be triggered on the 14th as Mercury makes an aspect to Uranus. Now Uranus is the higher form of Mercury, the higher form of communication. Your mind will be buzzing with this aspect. Mercury's already in the house, the 3rd house which he rules, and so this is his domain. And it may be a job to sleep that night because your mind will be overworking. There'll be so many new and exciting ideas coming through. And remember, there are no such thing as coincidences. Everything that happens, every thought that comes through are meant to be there. So you need to process all this. So it's a busy time. And then on the following day, the 15th, Mercury makes an aspect to the moon's north node. So again, this is very exciting. New things coming through, new ideas. Anything you learn at this point is going to be very valuable to you. On the 16th, Mercury and the Sun come together. So this is fantastic because again the mind will be activated. But now you'll be thinking and processing through the heart because the Sun is our heart. And this is really exciting because these two together means that communication flows freely. When Mercury and the Sun are in the same sign, it's much easier to communicate, it's much easier to put things across. When they're in different signs, it becomes more difficult because they're not on the same level, they're not on the same, coming from the same space. So this is all great. Now these two come together, are going to make aspects. First one is to Pluto. This is an opposition, so this could be difficult because opposition is always met in the outside world. So this is focused around the 3rd and the 9th house, so beliefs could be coming in. You may have to stand up for what you believe in or stand up for your new ideas that are being tested, and some people may try and pour cold water on them or challenge them. So you need to have the confidence and the faith that you know what you're doing and you know that what you're doing is right for you. Now the other aspect is to from these two to Neptune, and Neptune's in that 11th house. So again we have looking at our goals, our dreams for the future. Now your dreams may be big, your dreams may be unrealistic, but this is there for a reason, because you have to have these dreams, and maybe you may not reach them, but you will soon discover that which of your dreams are good and which are unrealistic, and then you can process and you can get on with your tasks and the way forward that you need to be going. But in the meantime, have all these dreams, have all these lovely ethereal experiences, because they're all part of the process. On the 19th, there's an aspect between Mars, is in that 1st house of yours now, and the Black Moon Lilith. There's a time you just need to be a little bit cautious. This is a positive aspect, but it does allow anger to come through very easily. So you need to be a little bit more tolerant, keep a lid on things, and don't let that anger bubble over so quickly. Just it's a good time to talk about things. So if you can hold things back, it's good to talk and to let things out in a more positive, constructive way. Then on the 20th we have Chiron in your 12th house, is going retrograde. Now while Chiron is retrograde, there may be things that come up from the unconscious related to past wounds, and the temptation is to shove them back down again. But it's good to allow these things to come up, to acknowledge them, and then release them. On the 23rd, we have the Sun moving into Leo. This is the best sign for the Sun. This is a sign that the Sun rules. So this is great for us all. We can all benefit from this and start to own things and to really push forward in the way that we want. This is a great month ahead. We have also a good aspect between Mercury and Jupiter. This is great for planning, especially around the home, because it's in that home area. Mercury can work well with investments around the home. And if you're making some alterations, it's a good time to plan those and put them into action. Then on the 24th, Venus makes an aspect to Jupiter. Now this is a lovely aspect and it's great for relationships. Time when you can achieve greater intimacy and open up and be very close to your partner. But again, it's also good for the commercial side, the financial side of things. And with these two together, you just need to be a little bit wary because overindulgence is quite easy to make. 26th, you may just need to bite your lip and wait a day till the aspect between Mercury and Mars passes, because it can make you a little bit fractured, a little bit irritable, and Mercury's in the home area, so just let things lie. Because on the 27th, Mercury makes an aspect to Chiron. This allows you to be more open, more understanding, and you can discuss things more freely. Also, there's some excitement due on this day because Venus and the Black Moon come together. When these two together, there's a naughty side that comes out. Venus's desire and the Black Moon loves to create excitement. So there could be something that excites you on this day. There's a very intense and active new moon at the end of the month. This is the 28th and the new moon is in Leo. This is your 4th house. So let's break it down a little. The new moon in Leo is about being brave, being bold, about trying new things. The new moon in the 4th house is about concentrating around the family and the home area. But also for you personally, it's about looking at your long-term goals, looking at your long-term future and starting to put some plans into action. Now, combining with this is a conjunction. This is a fantastic aspect because we talked earlier about Uranus being in your 1st house and been in there for some time in Taurus, and now it comes together. The Moon's North Node and Uranus come together, and this is going to create some creative changes. This is going to be sudden changes. This is going to be things that you maybe hadn't thought of, maybe hadn't planned, but they're suddenly going to come into view. So this all ties in well with the new moon and your plans for the future. This is a great, exciting time for you Taurians because this conjunction in your 1st house is all about you. It's about concentrating on yourself, finding out where you want to be for the future, what you want to be doing, where you want to be, how you want to be as a person. Do you need to change parts of yourself? Are parts of yourself going to change whether you like it or not? These are the sort of questions that you may be thinking about. And this new moon is going to bring this all into focus. As well as the conscious things that are happening on the 28th, we're also going to trigger the start of some unconscious things, because the 28th Jupiter goes retrograde in your 12th house. Now the 12th house is the house of spirituality. Jupiter also combines with this, so there'll be a growth in consciousness or unconsciousness in your part if it's in the 12th house, but the spiritual side will be growing in the background whether you know it or not, and this will be evolving at a tremendous pace with Jupiter's influence. Now also we have this aspect between Uranus, which we've talked about, which is lasting for 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, 19 days. So this coincides with that new moon, which has the influence for 2 weeks. So this is a period of prolonged change and activity. And to start this on the 31st, Mars makes a aspect to these two. Mars joins them and makes a triple conjunction. So Mars adds his energy, he adds his ambition, his drive to this. So changes are going to come through at a rapid rate now. And this is what Uranus being in your sign is all about. It's about bringing these changes through. And this is going to be the start of something good. Thank you for watching the July review. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe and you'll be able to see more. And if you'd like to leave me a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you.